So it starts off with Conquest and Invincible flying in, breaking the sound barrier. The way everyone was getting caught in the wind, you would have thought Rod Wave was walking down the street barefoot. Now imagine if he was wearing Tim's. Mark and Conquest get the tussling, and Mark looks to his right for no reason. By the time he looked back, his arms were spread, catching a headbutt. Neck grabbed and slammed to the street. Conquest taking his hand off his chest, saying, "Anissa would be telling you to stand down before the Viltrum Empire comes knocking at your door. Me, on the other hand, I'm straight smiles. I'm beating you up regardless." Put his off-brand gauntlet on Mark's shoulder and got hit with the left. And that weak stuff ain't even leave a scratch. So Mark came creeping back up into the frame before tackling Conquest through multiple buildings. Them tax dollars are about to be put to work. But the smoke clears and Conquest comes out from the rubble, looking down and grabbing Invincible from the rocks and starts choking him. Mark is in pain, gasping for air, having to smack the arm, slap his bald head, and kick him away, talking about, "That's just a warm-up." Niggas always want to seem nonchalant. Conquest is wearing a white fit, and I don't even see a speck of dirt. This the weakest warm-up of all time. Flying back in to hit him with the left hook. "Oh yeah, I'm on you." Goes for the right, and hits him with a mean uppercut, and added another combo to his order. Pushed him up, he's got his chin to the sky, practically asleep, getting dragged back down for the knee to the stomach, bouncing back up to get tackled again. And Mark started feeling himself, started moving different for the cameras. Took a huge running start for the momentum to send him flying, and they changed the location, chose a different map to fight on, and Conquest is staring him down, smiling. So much is wrong with his face, but we not gonna talk about it. But what we are gonna talk about is this, cause this video is sponsored by Invincible Guarding the Globe. This Invincible mobile game follows the same storyline of the TV series and allows you to collect all your favorite characters. It doesn't matter if it's a hero or a villain. You want Alan the alien? He's in the game, hitting a tough pose. Cameraman can't even breathe in space, but Alan needed that pick by all means. You want Battle Beast? Yes sir. You already know he's always ready for some action. The Invincible mobile game allows you to manage your own team and strategize before taking part in action-packed and bloody battles. Right now, I'm using Duplicate, Rex, and Black Samson. And as you can see, I'm cooking, I ain't gonna lie. Even the Flaxen leader stood no chance against these devious combos. And in the Cecil's Nightmares game mode, there are live events that are related to season 3 of the TV show. Plus, new in-game characters also linked to season 3 of Invincible, like the family man himself, Powerplex, and he's still gonna find a way to somehow blame Invincible for his actions. So download the Invincible mobile game now by clicking the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen, and you will get Kid Omni-Man and Omni-Man. So click the link in the description to download the Invincible mobile game. And thank you Invincible Guarding the Globe for sponsoring this video. Conquest charges back in, bringing Mark back to Earth. This man is trying to punch him off, but old man had to get kneed back off. He in the distance just standing there, menacingly, telling Invincible that this is a mismatch. And before Mark could blink, he saw a fist to the face, crashing down on national television. I would have sued their ass so quick. Debbie started crying. "That is not my son!" While Oliver is saying that he wants to run outside and fight. Debbie had to hold him, give him a kiss on the purple forehead, and started crying again, this time on her knees. "What is my family?" Mark is still on the ground, admiring the beauty of the world as he's getting his ass beat. Getting up, looking to the blue sky, seeing a train charging right at him. Bro started blocking everything but his face, getting struck with an atomic bomb. The cameraman pans to Oliver, who is flying over. He's seeing his brother getting launched 200 kilometers into the air, then punched into another dimension through the clouds. By the time Oliver catches up, his stamina is gonna be depleted. He's gotta recalibrate his GPS every time Conquest punches Invincible. Conquest hit him so hard he was rolling and tumbling through buildings, bouncing on rooftops and rolling through some more buildings, coming out the other side, crashing into a truck. I know his back hurts. I would have retired right there. And once again, this man Conquest was pressing straight gas. Usually the elderly be rolling like a snail on the road, but nah, Conquest is cutting up crazy, feeling that cool breeze on his bald head. Mark had to put up his hand. "Stop!" So Conquest hits the brakes, let Invincible say a couple words, and palmed his neck. held him up like a baby, and used his body to make another pothole. Road gonna be bumpy as shit. Don't worry, nephew. You can do this. You still have a chance of winning. What type of motivational speech is this? Trying to uplift him? Just a backdoor little bro later. But Oliver came through with the clean uppercut and started cheesing, having the time of his life, until he flies back in to get dribbled off the ground and snatched by the leg, looking at him like a roach in the kitchen. Invincible couldn't have Oliver getting a gravestone next to Rex, so he spawned in, foot the jaw, made Conquest skip and scratch his face some more. It's crazy cause he ain't even get any uglier. Actually, it might have made him even better looking. But he was pissed. Stood up, looking over his shoulder, like them niggas who be showing off the designer, wearing a garbage bag, claiming it's Balenciaga. And they said they'll be flying cars in the future. Conquest turned around and started walking towards them. And Mark is telling Oliver to go home, grabbing him by the collar and tossing him off screen, getting caught and bulldozed, head getting took by his sweaty palm, dipping him into the dirt and letting him sizzle, making sure he's seasoned properly before passing him into a whole vehicle and dashing in. I said, oh nah, someone was paying their monthly insurance for that car. Mark then lands on his feet, jumping back towards Conquest for the headbutt. But all that did was put him on one knee. So Mark took the opportunity to farm them points. Right, left, straight haymakers. Grabbed him by the compression shirt and started beating him senseless. It's about damn time. Until Conquest catches his right fist and slowly stands up. That was pathetic. It was getting so embarrassing for Invincible, they had to cut to a whole different scene. Eve is laying in the hospital bed and her dad is still being the most miserable father of all time. But Eve gets up and she's already panicking. All she's thinking about is Mark. But she turns her head and sees the news that Mark is out there getting folded in 15 different ways. The old man is using him as a public demonstration to show the people how to do laundry. He's getting his hand took, thrown around, brought down to get a taste of glass with a side of dust and rocks. With a nice smile on his face, he's such a good citizen. Dropping down to slam him on his stomach, holding him up again. They really sent me here for no reason, cause this is light work. You need to spend some more VC. You're not in my league. Pushing him away just to chase him down. He a dickhead. Stomping on his body, using him as a skateboard, and wanted to tell Mark a nice little story. Picked his head up and told him that he met his father and that his father is dead and was executed not too long ago. Obviously, he don't know that Nolan and Alan are chilling right now. And when Conquest went to end the fight, Oliver stepped in. Made sure to step in dog poop too, hitting that one TikTok dance before putting the bottom of his shoes to Conquest's skull. But Conquest ain't feel a thing. He eats those for breakfast. But Oliver is looking at Mark's condition and is like, how bro? This man is old as dirt. But Mark stepped in front of Oliver, telling Conquest to back off. And look at the disrespect. Conquest slowly raised his hand, showed Mark exactly what he was going to do, before smacking him to go look at some real estate over there in the corner. He knew Mark wasn't going to be able to stop the backhand. That's so devious. Spawned in front of Oliver's eyes and punched him onto the next street. And when I saw that shadow cast over him, I damn near closed my eyes. Cause he palms this child's scalp and starts trying to pull him apart like a toy. Invincible got up from the rocks and needed some glasses. But when he saw that, he rushed in and saved Oliver from Conquest, dragging him into the air. But Conquest is built like a truck. Pressed the brakes and palmed the older brother's scalp next. Bro has his eyes closed right here. But the second he opened them up, he was seeing cranium and gave him a left to send him at a distance. Needed a calm little break to recoup from the damage caused by the CTE. But in the meantime, Cecil teleports in to pick up Oliver and sees Conquest and Mark destroying the city. And to make it worse, Eve is calling for Cecil. So he goes to see Eve, who just woke up, and is telling her that not only can she barely walk right now, but she just got put in the hospital by some weaker versions of Invincible. And the gray-haired man that's fighting Mark right now is a lot stronger. So do the math, bitch. This ain't no algebra. Mark, on the other hand, is getting a taste of salt water and is getting treated like a baby who don't want water on their face. Told to take a shower and put his head underwater. I told Mark to pay attention and look closely, and treated him the same way Nolan did in that subway, before dipping him to get seasoned with some more dirt. Conquest must have been taught by a Jamaican, making sure to use every seasoning in the cupboard, bringing him up to the atmosphere, and Invincible turns around to give him a left hook. And when he thought he already had it hard enough, he sees that Eve shows up thinking she's tough. Get away from him, you animal! Yes, let Conquest fight you, who is clearly weaker. He's about to show her that grown man strength. Mark tried to save her from the annihilation, grabbing Conquest, but gets a headbutt and his leg snapped, falling down to the ground, while Conquest looks down at him with disgust. How dare you care for other people, you weirdo. Eve tries to hold Conquest, but that ain't work, so she has her little Iron Man moment, pulling out the transformation with the suit. And when Conquest tries to attack, she increases the density in the air to completely slow him down, smacking him with a hammer, then again, then tries it another time. But he stops it, not impressed at all, breaking it apart with his fist. So now Eve is hyperventilating. And plus, she's been spamming the same attacks since the beginning of time. Definition of bagless. Look at her, spamming walls, as if he can't just punch through them. But she thought she could win, created a ball to wrap around his head, and proceeded to crush him between some spikes, sending projectiles at him to keep him away, and crushed him again with 2 blocks. And now, she's just spamming the same moves over and over, like I said, bagless. Conquest wasn't even taking her serious, stopped the arrow with one hand, and went in to destroy every part of her armor, one by one. Eve was looking at him over there, plotting some devious. Blinked, and he was in my face. He needs to back away. But he pretty much ends her life. So Mark musters up the strength to go up and catch her, bringing her back to the floor, just crying his heart out, begging for Cecil to show up and save her. Whole time, Cecil is back at the Pentagon eating some chips, watching this play out. He told her ass not to go out there in the first place. Mark looks at Conquest with tears down his face. Conquest ain't even care though. He just thanking Mark for this chance to fight. Thank you, Mark. I've been waiting for a moment like this. I don't know what you did, but whatever you did to make the Viltrum Empire mad, I appreciate you, bro. But Mark had his fist clenched and is like, I can see the future, and you don't get to see tomorrow. And I leaned up in my seat. Conquest thinks he's unstoppable. We can't be having that. Beat his ass, twin. So he goes in for the clash and breaks his fist at the same time, but managed to destroy Conquest's metal arm and kept applying the pressure. Punched his face in, then kicked his jaw, got unlucky, and Conquest needed a hug. He's feeling sad, squeezing his body. But Mark used all reliable, biting his shoulder and then getting thrown off. Conquest is holding his broken arm like Vegeta. I guess this is what happens when you have a bad hairline. And they dash back in, fighting in the distance, while Eve's body starts floating. Mark was actually putting the beat on him until he hit the side eye and saw Eve mid-air. Conquest saw that Mark wasn't looking and saw that as disrespect. Forget about your girl, little bro. Get you a new one. Told him to pay attention, grabbing his neck. This getting freaky. Then knee to the back, fixing his posture and laid him down. And got to whispering in his ear, I'm so lonely. No Viltrumite wants to be my friend. They think I'm unstable. They just send me away to fight. Conquest. I don't even get a real name, only a purpose. He's saying all this as he's choking the life out of Mark, and he finds it surprising that people call him unstable. But he starts to push Mark into the earth, trying to end him. But Conquest turns around to see Eve floating behind him, powered up, blasting him and frying his body. And when Mark is trying to figure out how all this is even possible, Conquest stands up behind him, showing off the gains. But he's standing there, saying that he'll end Eve for good. But Mark was getting annoyed, ran in to hit him with his only good fist, sending him on his ass and punching him again, and starts pummeling him before getting his fist caught and broken. And that's when Mark decides to end Conquest by giving him multiple headbutts back to back to back. So when the fight is finally over, everyone goes to Rex's funeral. Rudy decides that he wants to honor Rex by changing his name from Rudy to Rex. Angstrom Levy got put in that 360 deal of doom. Bro gonna be opening portals for the rest of his life. And Cecil decides to lock up Conquest instead of burning his body. This man seems to forget that he ain't the one fighting. If something goes wrong, Cecil's gonna be sleeping like a baby in a secure bunker under the Pentagon, while Mark has to fight Conquest again. And at the end, this show was Dark Blood, who's talking straight gibberish, I ain't gonna lie.